Okay, today's Wednesday, 8:39 p.m. It is December 17th. I'm eating some oatmeal. About about 5 days ago, 5 days ago, about 5 days ago, about 5 days ago, I discovered some subconscious actions that I was taking. I was taking some subconscious actions, and I caught it. So, so when I was an engineer, I would write software. Okay, I have to write software. So an engineer requires creating tools, and then from the tools, gather the data. Okay, those are the two things that an engineer needs to do: create tools to extract data. Okay, and then and then process the data. Those are two things that are the primary job of a engineer, a test engineer. So in the recent work that I did with a company called Micros, I worked at a uh, at a at a essentially what they did was they buy a semiconductor product, and then they grade it to a military kind of a military grade, and then sell it at a higher value. So they buy these things from companies, and then grade it at a higher quality and sell it. That's what they do. So that requires a programming to take programming in order to make it work, and then test it, and then grade it. So so when I write a software, garlic, that's garlic. So when I develop a solution, I'm a messy writer. I make a mess. When I do something initially, I make a lot of mess. So for in order to develop a program, my mind is all scattered, trying to grasp onto something to come to a pinpoint solution. Ultimately, ultimately at the end of it, ultimately at the end of it, I pinpoint to a solution that I've cultivated. I've hammered it. I've shaped it. I rearranged it. I placed it. I ran it through its ringers, through the ringers, and then I've developed a essentially, those comic cartoons where these guys do this kind of thing, right? They form it like that, and they just send it out like that, or chi or something like that. So I form it, but before that occurs, what happens is my mind is a scatter because I don't know anything. I'm reaching out everywhere. Trying to figure out what trading is about, or software development is. So then, in software development, there are certain functions within software that are glued together. They're connected together from sequence to sequence to achieve a objective. I have a routine that generates the output. I have a routine that has error functions. I have routines that loops through. I have something that is conditional. I have something that stores the value in a unique way. And then there's a certain way of extracting it. So all these things are like taken apart, and I'm a mess. Literally, I'm a mess when I start a project. So, so then I have stacks of papers. I have like files everywhere. I have like versions here and here and here. And then as I start to finalize into a solution, then it takes its form. It's still a little fuzzy because it needs a little buttoning up and processing a little bit before it's finally released. But it's a mess, but not as a mess as before. Okay, and so once that is done, once all those things are connected together and they're ran through multiple times, and then results are taken, data is reviewed and looks good and it's functioning properly, then only then the project is done, right? I just remember the mistake that I made when I was there. It was a doozy. It's something that I didn't account for. Anyway, so then what happens is that my desk is all mess, my computer is all mess because I was gathering everything to put it together, fit it together, and things like that. Okay? It's not a nice little library where I put this together, it works, and then it works and things like that. Everything's all organized. It's not initially. So what I noticed about myself, that's how I developed solutions in my previous life. Then what I noticed about myself recently is that I had this printer sitting right here, that I used to do some IRS paperwork because they needed proof that I am who I am. And apparently, it seems to be all related to like all these illegal immigrants who just ran into America, and they thought I was one of them or something. So they had to identify me and things like that. So it was all resolved. But I had to send a fax. We're talking about sending faxes like a year ago, year 2024, sending faxes. What are you talking about? Don't you have emails or something like that? So so I had that printer, and so then I threw it away. Okay, I threw it away. And I started to reduce my area. I found myself. I caught myself, like throwing things away and consolidating and tossing things out, erasing things on my computer and things like that. Because my subconscious was telling me that I was sort of in a way developed. I have developed myself. Now I see things. So when I see a chef, I can see why he's a chef. Okay? Because he has these things that are inside the core. There is a core in him that makes him a chef because that core is visible in the actions that are being taken. So my subconscious was telling me, hey, time will tell, garlic, time will tell now I'm looking at these books. I have this book called Encyclopedia of Technical Analysis, right? So I looked through it and goes, interesting. Whereas before I was scratching my head and going, what does this mean? So many of these things, which I thought didn't make any sense, now are starting to make sense. So I started to Now, like, I don't need as much. What I thought was important is no longer, or it has been resolved, so I don't see the importance of whatever it is, right? So it seems to me I am now on the now on the is the closing parts of transitioning into a profitable trader. Now I just need to make uh, small little adjustments to enhance what I have, and then really take it to the next level. Okay, so I caught my subconscious. I saw my subconscious doing something. The subconscious was telling me. The logical side had no idea until the subconscious was behaving in a manner that says my trading struggles are coming to an end. And then my logical side saw what I was doing. Now, the reason is now I'm taking longer naps now. All right. So then when I look at the YouTube channels, I go, oh, yeah, right, okay. Right? I don't have to like study it, and I don't have to like deeply get into it, scratching my head trying to understand what it is. Now I go, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, all right, that makes sense. So all these things, it's like, I suppose it's like an apple tree. If I never had a taste of that apple, I would not know what it's like. But as soon as I take a bite of that apple, I realize what all those other things are. Okay? You know those hundreds of apples on an apple tree? All right? I take a bite out of it, right? Then I begin to connect the dots and say, hey, that tastes like that. Anyway, so I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's like my subconscious was sledgehammering me. No? My subconscious was subconsciously telling me,